Good morning, boys and girls. We are on Unit 4, Week 2, Day 1 of our new story, Tripping Over the Lunch Lady. And I'm on Comprehension with you this week. So today we are going to read a short passage. We're going to talk about what skills we're going to be covering this week. Tomorrow we will read the first half of the story. Day 3 we'll read the second half. And Day 4 we will go over our paired selection. And then on Day 5, which will be Friday, you will have your reading test. So let's jump right in. Our story that we will be reading today is The School Dance. But right before we read it, I'm going to go over our comprehension skill, which is a generalization. And so we are going to be working on generalizing this week. To generalize is to make a broad statement or inference that applies to several examples. We've talked about inference before, when you use what you know and what you are given in the text to make a guess about what is happening. Okay, so when active readers make generalizations about story characters, they do it as they read. They support their generalizations using evidence from the text, and their background knowledge is just what you already know. So when you're making generalizations, you can actually use graphic organizers to help you make generalizations. Specifically in this story, if you wanted to use a graphic organizer, you could use one to help make a generalization about Victor's character, and you would just have a box with the generalization, and then you would have supporting details coming out of the side, and we are actually going to make one together once we're done reading this story. So let's go ahead and read The School Dance. You can follow along on the screen. Victor looked at himself in the mirror. He was wearing a sport coat and a new pair of shoes. I think I look okay, he thought, but what if the other kids don't think so? Victor was going to the autumn dance at school. He was looking forward to seeing his friends, but he was a little nervous about dancing. What if I look goofy? Victor worried. Victor had asked his mother those questions. You'll be fine, his mother said. Just go and have fun. At the gym, Victor saw that all the students were standing against the walls of the large room. Music was playing, but no one was dancing. In fact, most kids were looking at their shoes. Then Victor spotted Nadia, his neighbor. He'd known Nadia since they were in second grade. At the same time, Nadia rushed up to Victor and said, "Let's dance. Someone's got to get things started." Victor felt weird, but he and Nadia started dancing in the middle of the room anyway. Slowly, other kids came out to the dance too. Soon, everyone was laughing and having fun. So I am actually going to put our graphic organizer on the screen, and we are going to make a generalization about Victor. So I have our graphic organizer on the board, and we are going to come up with the generalization together, and we're going to give one supporting detail, and then you are actually in a discussion right below this video going to give a second supporting detail to back up our generalization. So the question is, what generalization can you infer about Victor from what he says in the text? Well, let's think. He says he thinks he looks okay, but he's not sure what the other kids will think in the first paragraph of our text, and that is right here. Then in the second paragraph, it says that he was going to the dance, he was excited to see his friends, but he was a little nervous about dancing because he didn't want to look goofy in front of his friends. Based on that, I can make the generalization that Victor is worried about what his friends will think. Of him at the dance. Well, now I need some details to back up that generalization, because the generalization, like we said before, is a broad statement. And we need some details to support our generalization, right? Well, one detail we could use, we already said, is in that first paragraph, right? Victor thought he looked okay, but asked, and I'm going to use a direct quote from the text, and my answer, asked, what if the other kids don't think so? That's a supporting detail, right? Because Victor's worried about what his friends will think of him, and I gave a detail directly from the text that supported my generalization. Victor thought he looked okay, but asked, what if the other kids don't think so? That detail shows me that Victor is worried about what his friends will think. So your job is to come up with a second supporting detail from the text. You can come back to this video and look at the text right here. I will also put a picture of this text in the discussion post so that you can look at it. And you just have to say, what is another supporting detail to back up our generalization that Victor is worried about what his friends will think of him at the dance? Once you do that, make sure you finish the rest of your reading assignments. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.